Hey guys, it's Otto here, back with another video. So in today's video, guys, what we are going to go over and what I'm going to reveal to you are the top e-commerce niches that you can hone into with your email marketing agency. And we're going to talk very quickly about what actually makes up a good niche. What are the components of a niche where you can find clients, where you can make tons of money from? What are the bad niches? And I'm going to give you specifically the 3 to 5 niches that you should focus on today if you want to make the most out of your email marketing agency, and frankly, if you want to make the most money. Okay, so you know the drill. Without further ado, I'm going to minimize my face. Actually, we'll keep my face big today. Sorry to you guys watching. But what we're going to do here is jump straight into it. Okay, so we call this the Holy Five as part of our email marketing niche navigator. Now, really what the Holy Five consists of is 5 key elements that any given brand within a niche will basically hold and possess, which will help you determine whether they're a good client to work with or not. Okay. Now, if you are running an email marketing agency and you're working with, basket weaving companies, or I don't know, handmade cookies or doormats or something like that, what this video is going to help you do is basically escape those bad niches and find verticals and niches that are going to pay you a lot of money, and that you can sort of tap into for the long term. Okay. So the first kind of core element of the Holy Five is it's imperative to find companies in a niche where they have high average order values. Okay, so the higher the average order value, the more revenue a brand will generate per sale, which means email marketing campaigns and for flows like the embedded cart flow, or any sort of upsells you're doing, will be more profitable. Okay, so when it comes to the AOV, the average order value, typically you want to look for anything above $100, £100 mark. Okay, preferably if you can in the 500 to 2,000 pound or dollar range. We use that synonymously for maximum ROI. Okay, so this is when it comes to email marketing as a service specifically. The second element of the Holy Five, finding good niches, comes down to the brand's capability for repeat purchases. So what is their potential for recurring purchases, and what is the CLV or the LTV, the customer lifetime value, for all of the engaged customers that they have. Okay, so niches, it's very simple, where frequent reordering opportunities occur. So maybe it's like consumables, maybe it's subscription-based products, bundles, or even just seasonal purchases. When there's upticks in the kind of in those core months in the ecom calendar where certain brands will have an uptick in seasonal purchases. These 3 all allow for automated replenishment flows and post-purchase upsells. Okay, so that's super important when you are running a diverse spectrum of email flows, automations on the back end, where you can extract more juice from the squeeze of each customer that the brand has. Okay, so quite frankly, a high lifetime value will just ensure that there is long-term revenue potential from all of the email lists and segments that you are building out for that client. All right. The third element of the Holy Five is multiple SKUs and cross-sell opportunities. Okay. If a brand only has one hero product, or if they're in research and development phase of their, brand growth, it's going to be very difficult for you to make the brand a load of money, because when it comes to the core utility of email automations and flows, which is selling them other products, it's going to be very difficult to do so because they don't have any. Okay. So if you're working with a nootropics brand, it's going to be difficult using Klaviyo anyway, because of their, the restrictions in their terms and services, or a supplement company where they literally have one protein powder. These are not going to be the most ideal clients for you. You want to work with clients that have multiple SKUs and a larger product catalog. Okay, so the more diverse the product range, the more complementary products that you're going to be able to bring into those flows and campaigns for bundling purposes. Okay, so more SKUs means better personalization. It means a more involved segmentation strategy, and it means you can bring in more automations on the flows front. Okay, the fourth point of the Holy Five here is basically, I guess it can be summarized as strong brand loyalty or a following, which leads into a higher engagement potential. Okay, so niche brands that have niche audiences, you'll usually find those audiences are much higher engaged than other more generalized brands. Okay, so what we're talking about here is automotive enthusiasts, car parts, luxury shoppers, luxury brands, and trade professionals looking for specific materials, which we're going to talk about in a minute here. Okay, so typically what you'll find is these email campaigns and emails from flows too will just generally have higher open rates, click-through rates will be higher, and on the back end conversion rates will be higher too. Okay, so really when it comes to brand loyalty, you can build out more segments, you can have more detailed VIP segmentation, exclusive offers. You've got more angles to pitch different products to their customer base. Okay. And the fifth point here, the number 5 with the Holy Five, is basically, does the niche lend itself to urgency and seasonal based sales upticks? Okay, so niches that experience seasonal demand spikes, it could be winter tires for cars, summer home improvement, summer houses, summer garden fencing, holiday luxury shopping, going on vacation. These will benefit, or what you'll be able to do with your agency is help the client brand benefit from time sensitive campaigns, which will drive spikes in sales. Okay, so looping back into this too, back in stock notifications, flash sales, event-based promotions will really perform well typically in these niches. Okay, and this is what we've seen over the last 5 years with our agency. So here it is, guys, the meat of the bone. Okay, and we're not going to make this video longer than it needs to be. The top, really, these are the top 3 e-commerce niches that you need to tap into with your email marketing agency, and then I've got 2 additional bonus niches for you. All right. So the first one, and if you've watched any of my other videos, which you probably have, you'll know that I've talked about my previous distribution clients that we've had. Okay. Now, very early on in my journey, it just so happened that I didn't niche down. I actually cast the net wider than picking out menswear or cosmetics or gym wear or whatever it might be. I actually just broadly went out to e-commerce companies that had one of the big 3 e-commerce platforms integrated with their stores. Shopify, WeCommerce at the time, BigCommerce, and some were on Magento. And what I found was I got an interesting response from different industries. And very early on, I started working with a handful of distribution companies. Now, distribution companies or distribution networks are basically brands. So they will have their own brand name that holds a load of stock from other brands within their own warehouses. Okay, so they're not a drop shipping company. They actually have a lot of skin in the game. They have in-house buyers that actually go to brands and buy stock from them at a discounted bulk price. And then they sell it through all of their marketing channels and their e-commerce platform and their website. Okay, and what you'll find with brands like this is that within their distribution network, they're not only selling direct to consumer, but they'll also be selling DTT, direct to trade. Okay, so it's B2B selling, which can really help increase average order values and placed order values on on an individual basis, which can help you demonstrate in your agency that you've helped generate more revenue for the client. Okay, again, if they have low ticket prices for their products, they don't have many SKUs, so you can't upsell, cross-sell, or downsell. They don't have a loyal customer base, and they only sell direct to consumer here and there with no subscription or repeat ordering. It's going to be very hard for you to keep delivering results for your clients. But what you'll find with distribution-based companies is that with complex product catalogs, lots of product SKUs, the bundling opportunities are practically infinite. Okay, so when it comes to bundling subscription-based products, what you can do is go to your client brands and say, look, we think if we bundle these products together for this specific email campaign in the lead up to Black Friday, whatever it might be, this is something we think is going to add more, in placed order values over the next coming months. Okay, again, if the company you're working with, the brand you're working with, doesn't have all of these elements, it's going to be very hard to do that. Okay, so again, these distribution type brands are also good ones to leverage because of their other unique features. Okay, so when it comes to order processes and their kind of logistical processes, unlike the standard direct to consumer brands, when you have a clothing brand and as a consumer I land on the website and I can click buy those gym trousers or that gym top, whatever it might be. Working with other companies, working with trade companies will enable them basically to add in a load of different sales channels when it comes to email and SMS. Okay, and things that you can leverage when it comes to distribution companies on that front are things like automated order status updates in bulk, back order notifications, shipment tracking emails, all of these different elements that can basically help reduce customer support inquiries, improve satisfaction, and increase lifetime value of their customers. All right, and again with distribution type companies, seasonal and industry specific promotions work really well. Okay, so we've talked about time sensitive campaigns. And serving other industries that have predictable peak seasons can really give you a solid marketing strategy when it comes to email marketing. All right. So in summary, for distribution companies, it's quite simply put, high average order values. Bulk orders will range from, on average, $250 to £800 or dollars per transaction. There has the capability for frequent reorders. resupply of products. And then also they've got kind of unique logistics complexities that will enable you to build out very specific industry and niche specific flows, okay, that you can continue to add extra revenue through. All right, now the second one here that we, again, if you know my story, you'll know that we built a specialism with building material companies. So these are typically, and what we found at the time, which I didn't really appreciate when we were just trying to reach out to brands that sold direct to consumer, was that they will typically have huge direct to trade accounts on file as well, which means they're not only selling to the average homeowner, they're also selling to tradespeople who provide services, they're selling to companies that sell those products, white label, whatever it might be, builders, home builders, construction companies. These are the types of companies, these building materials companies and brands, where the average order value will be extremely high. And very quickly, with our email agency, we got a UK nationwide distributor of building materials, and we basically got them to a point where they were doing about, I think, 300k per month in total sales. We got them to 900k in turnover, in gross sales. Across all channels from the work that we were doing with them from email and SMS. And what you'll find with a lot of building materials companies is that all of the other guys out there in the e-commerce space kind of neglect these. They think because they've got outdated websites or they take orders over the phone, they're a bit too complicated, or they're too much of a dinosaur to really even understand what email marketing is. But I promise you, if you go after some building materials companies, you educate them on what retention marketing is, how to use Klaviyo, how to get the most out of it. Once you get a client like this, you're going to be charging huge fees if you're billing on a commission basis, okay? And that's what all these niches come down to. What are the companies where they have the lowest risk and the propensity for you to make the most money? All right. So a couple of core elements with building materials companies, obviously very high average order values, £500 to £2,000 per order. They could be selling windows. They could be selling, literally physical building materials, bricks, cement, tools, clothing, whatever it might be. Okay. Typically very high average order values. They will also have project-based purchasing. So things like your browser abandonment, email flows will encourage customers to return and complete project-based bulk orders. So if it's a home builder, they'll build a set of houses. They'll have a good experience with the brand through email. You can upsell them through email, and then when it goes on to their next project, they'll just do the same thing, okay? So you can capture recurring revenue from them. Again, a couple of points here. Complementary sales and multi-item orders, trade accounts and recurring orders we talked about, and again, D2C and D2T mixed customer base will help you basically segment a lot of the emails that you're sending. It will enable you to go out to specific audience with specific products and prices, with higher personalization that will lead to higher conversion rates, okay? So in summary, high average order values, again, seasonal peaks, bulk and project orders where there's repeat business, okay? Now, the third top niche here is luxury and designer fashion or accessories, okay? So example brands in the UK could be, the likes of Selfridges and Harrods. These are obviously bigger brands, but End Clothing, Matches Fashion, Wolf & Badger, just give you an idea of the types of companies. You can Google them, at your own will to see those types of companies that you could potentially go out to, right? So why is this a good niche, okay? Well, what it comes down to is premium high ticket pricing and, again, high average order values. So if they're selling products that at a minimum will be sold for around $150 or £150, you're basically going to have a brand with high margin, high profit margins, selling products like designer bags, footwear, watches, whatever it might be, okay? So all the time creating stronger and stronger revenue opportunities that you can drive through email and SMS. Now, what you'll find too with these brands that you won't necessarily find with building materials is that they have a better propensity for higher quality visuals. So most of these luxury brands really are kind of experiential and brand driven when it comes to their marketing and advertising. So typically what you'll find, and this is something to note, is that email is very, very visual compared to other forms of advertising, Google ads, PPC, whatever it might be. Email is very visual. If you have bad visual designs in your emails and they look bad, they're not going to drive conversion rates, okay? So what you'll find with luxury and designer brands is that they will oftentimes have brilliant photography, very sensitive brands, kind of visual media that really lends itself to email marketing, which is super important because you're only as good as a lot of the times the assets that the client can provide you when it comes to product photography, their branding and their kind of core brand assets too. All right. So with luxury and designer fashion, similarly to the building materials and distribution companies, is that what you also have is the opportunity for a more granular segmentation strategy. and really what it comes down to with this segmentation strategy is offering opportunities on the higher end, exclusive VIP opportunities. So loyalty flows will basically reward repeat spenders, higher spenders with early access to collections or exclusive drops or discounts, whatever it might be. And this can all be factored into the post-purchase, styling of the flows themselves, but also the templates that you're sending out to the brand's customers. Okay, so again, another industry with high average order values. There you'll find a lot of brands that have real niche, high brand loyalty, lots of good opportunities to leverage and swipe high quality visual media, and again, urgency-based triggers that you can use in flows like back in stock or exclusive drop emails. Okay, now the last two here are bonus ones. Okay, and we're going to talk about these very quickly. So when it comes to the first of the two bonuses, high-end home and kitchen appliances are another very good e-commerce niche to tap into with your email marketing agency. And a lot of the principles that you'll find here, the kind of core components of this specific niche, are also quite similar to luxury and designer goods. All right. So the first is that a lot of the products here will just be expensive by nature. Expensive high-end coffee machines, luxury cookware. Instead of working with a pound shop or a generic cookware store that sells frying pans for £5, they're going to be selling frying pans for £100, £200. Okay. Oftentimes what you'll find with consumables-based brands is that they also have an opportunity for replacement cycles and promotions. So automated replenishment flows will basically be something that you can use to remind customers to restock. So this specifically comes down to things like coffee pods, Nespresso pods, filters, cleaning solutions for the coffee machines. Again, you can kind of get an idea for how you will be able to continue increasing the lifetime value of each customer that you're able to entice into your client's brand using email and SMS. Okay. Again, warranty and service packages is another upsell opportunity that you might not have with these other niches here. Don't overlook warranty and services packages, because if they're sold via e-commerce, which they 9 times out of 10 will be for brands like these, in these niches, they will oftentimes have a high ticket price themselves. Okay, so they might be paying $200 for a warranty or £150 for an insurance policy or whatever it might be. Okay. So again, it's another niche with a high average order value. You have the propensity to leverage repeat sales. You can leverage also a lot of education-focused content too with these. So the likes of coffee machines, cleaning those machines, recycling the pods. There's a lot of what you're going to have to do in your email flows in order to nurture the brand's customers is to provide them with information. But if you're working with building materials companies, they might not have a lot of those SOPs or guides or instructionals on hand. They might just not have created them because a lot of their trade customers know how to use their products. They don't need that help. But when it comes to high-end home and kitchen appliances and machinery, these are going to be dropped in the hands of consumers like you or I, homeowners that need to get the most out of these machines. And a lot of those machines will come with written user guides that you can then leverage in your email copy and in your email flows. Okay, and the fifth and final niche here that you can explore that I recommend is anything relating to specialist car parts and accessories. Okay, so there's large brands in the UK like Halfords, and then smaller, lesser known brands like Demon Tweaks, Opiols, whatever it might be. And what you'll find with brands like this is that they have huge brand loyalty and kind of industry hobbyist enthusiasts. Okay, and these are all really important drivers behind frequency of buying. Okay. When it comes to these brands too, you'll find that a lot of them will have seasonal buying trends. So again, it might be like winter tires or summer detailing kits or snow foam, cleaning cars. These are all, core moments in the generic, wider, global and national e-commerce calendar that you can leverage for your campaign ideas and for refreshing all of the flows for your clients. Again, recurring purchases is another common repeating kind of component here with all of these top niches. Again, when it comes to cars, wear and tear replacements, replenishment emails, brake pads, oils, filters, accessories, air fresheners. These are all things where you can bring in other SKUs, cross-sell, downsell, and upsell in your campaigns and your flows for the client. Okay. So again, high average order values is what you need to look for, high repeat purchase rates, and again, anything that will drive email content, nurturing those customers, educational material, tech support, anything that you can basically leverage in campaigns and flows for those client brands in order to drive increased frequency in placed order values, as well as increased lifetime values for their customers. All right. So hopefully that's given you a good overview, guys. If you're wondering or you're struggling to find a good niche to tap tap into. Test out these niches, test them out in your lead gen and prospecting activities, trial specific personalized email copy for these niches, and let me know how you got on in the comments below. And I will catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.